I was really curious to kind of investigate and see what people's relationships was with water, because coming from Ontario, we're really, lucky to have the Great Lakes around us. So I think sometimes we take water for granted, whereas here, people, I think from after, being here on and off for a year, we realize that people have a very special relationship with the Bow River and the Elbow River, because it is the only body of water, prominent around here, right? So that was like something that I really, kind of wanted to dig into more. Those kind of experiences or those actions that we call projects, for us are just moments in our lives as artists feeling like, okay, something needs to be done, and so we put something out into the world, and then a lot of people tend to then say this is like social practice, this is civic engagement in some type of way. We're not too worried about like the terms that circulate around the work, but it's more so just about that, taking ownership over the space that you live in or the community that you're a part of. What was interesting about this residency was that only one of the well, I guess 2 of the 5 projects we ended up doing was text-based. Right. And so that was a bit of a shift for us, where we're more used to using text and words to communicate. But I think that the residency kind of challenged us to push further and see what else could come of it. And we stumbled upon the outfall signs, and we didn't know what they were. So as we were walking along the Bow River, we kept seeing them, and it was like B43, like B64, and we were like, what does this mean? Like, we didn't really, until after we found out what it was, know that there was an outfall underneath it.
Because I don't think it has information that's super relevant as a citizen to come across, but it's also still displayed in a very like straightforward and kind of large way. Like, they are very visible from across the street even, so we were trying to kind of wonder about what it would be like to hijack that visual system and use it for our own.
Right.
I don't want to say for our own needs, but to kind of like mirror the way they're displaying information, but kind of put our own information on there.
Right.
So. This was definitely a deeper level of engagement. Like, I have relationships with people in Calgary now that, I still carry on when I'm not here. So that's a change, right? You start to feel a different type of connection with the city that you wouldn't otherwise feel in somewhere that you're just there for a short amount of time. In a way, it's like we were in this really intense, especially for me being here for 2 months, I was in this intense bubble of production and making and doing, that making that book afterwards, or that publication afterwards, was like going back out from like a outside perspective to try to get some grasp onto like what, what had happened for our residents.